Today we're going to talk about training specificity and what that means when you're in the gym and how to be specific for your goals. So what is training specificity? What it really means is it's picking a goal or a target. So if you want to go to the gym, you have to really decide, what am I trying to achieve here? For example, when I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to increase my power. So I want to be doing exercises and rep ranges and sets that increase my power. Runners, when they go to the gym, they might be trying to increase their overall muscular endurance. So they need to be making sure that they're training sets and reps that help to encourage better endurance. There's always benefit of cross training, but if you really want to be maximizing what you're trying to achieve, you want to be specific. So we're going to briefly go through the four main training principles. We're going to go through strength, power, hypertrophy, and endurance. I'll give you the sets, the rep ranges, the load. That way you can be more specific when you're training. Strength training is basically trying to have maximal load, just lifting as heavy as you can. There is, however, no speed component to the strength training. What you want to do is you want to make sure your exercises have a 1 second eccentric, 1 second isometric, and a 1 second concentric phase of contraction there. With strength training, you want to be having a rest period of 2 to 3 minutes between your sets. With strength training, you're going to be having your sets of 1 to 3. You're going to be doing 8 to 12 repetitions, and you'll have a rest period between 2 to 3 minutes each set. For a novice to intermediate, you want to be about between 60 to 70% of your maximal load. For more advanced trainers, you want to be between 80 to 100%. That's for what you can still achieve your 8 to 12 rep range. Now, power is an interesting one because it has a speed component. You're only going to have the eccentric and then concentric phase of contraction here. For a novice to intermediate, you want to be doing load that's between 30 to 60% of your max for your upper body, 0 to 60% maximal for your lower body, but advanced, you can be going towards 85 to 100%. The recommended set range is still usually only between 1 to 3 sets, and the reps is 3 to 6. So this is your classical trying to power lift like bench press and squat and deadlift as much as you can. The tricky thing is there's a speed component to it on the concentric phase. So you're actually trying to lift it as fast as you can. This is giving you the absolute power. The other important thing with power exercises is they're usually multi-joint, and they're not just going to be reserved for something like a bicep curl. Hypertrophy, muscle building, often what everyone does in the gym. Your sets, 1 to 3. Your rep range, you're still looking between 8 to 12. For novice to intermediate, you want to be between 60 to 80% of your maximal load. And then for advanced, you want to be between 70 to 100% of your maximal load. Looking between 2 to 3 minutes for your rest. Lastly, you have endurance. So endurance training, you're going to be lower load. There's no recommended percentage. You just want to be a low load, but you're going for a high volume. Novice to intermediate, you want to be between 10 to 15 repetitions. You want to be doing a higher amount of sets, so maybe somewhere between 2 to 5 sets. For intermediate to advanced, you want to be between 15 to 25 repetitions, around 3 to 5 sets. The rest period between sets for novice to intermediate, if you're less than 15 reps, you want to be less than a minute rest period. If you're more than 15 reps, you want to be more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes of rest between sets. Now, I really want to touch on rest periods because this is underutilized in the exercise prescription part of specificity training. It is critical to follow the right rest period because that way you're training the muscles in the correct way and you're going to the maximal of its potential. If you're trying to train power, but you aren't allowing 2 to 3 minutes of rest, you're only allowing 1 minute, you're never going to let that muscle recover enough energy to have the maximal output and optimize your load training. And if you're doing endurance training, and if you rest for 2 to 3 minutes between, well, then you're never going to allow the muscle to build up the endurance. So it's actually critical to use the correct rest period to allow for the optimal proportions of your lifts. Otherwise, all your training is being thrown off a little bit. Another interesting factor is frequency per week. They found for novice to intermediate, you want to be doing the same kind of muscle groups or exercises or training 2 to 3 times per week to actually build some adaptation and change. And then they found for advanced, it's anywhere between 3 to 6 times per week to actually get that maximal change. So it really depends on your goals, your level of fitness, what you're trying to achieve to fall into frequency, the set range, the volume, and the load and everything. Moral of the story, pick your goal, choose your training style, respect your rest, and to do it multiple times per week. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below of something that you'd be interested to see next. Tune in next time.